Hello and welcome. In 2.3, we're going to talk about algebraic reasoning. Our objectives in this lesson is that we can use algebraic properties to justify solving equations and that we can set up and complete a two-column proof. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Our only vocabulary word in this lesson is the word two-column proof. And a two-column proof is a method that we show understanding or that we prove that a particular statement is true. So we will have two columns. One of them will have our statements, and one of them will have our reasons. Our statements are going to be where we're doing the evaluating or where we are determining what is happening from one step to the next. And our reasons will be properties and justifications based on different mathematical concepts that we have learned in previous courses. So before we jump into what those properties are that we might be using here, let's look at an example that ties back to something we did in class where we played the game Crazy Eights. All right, so we learned in class how to play the card game Crazy Eights, which is basically just like Uno. And we learned that we're allowed to play a card if the card is the same suit as the card that's already down, if the card is the same number as the card that's already down, or if the card is an 8. And if it's an 8, which is wild, that's why it's called Crazy Eights. If the card is an 8, we get to choose which suit comes next. So what I want you to do is to look at the card that's laid down. If you were playing Crazy Eights, this 3 of hearts is the card that's face up. And these 4 cards over here are the cards that are in your hand. I want you to see if you can figure out what order we can play these cards so that we can play them all. So there are a couple of options on orders that you could play the next card, but our ultimate goal is that we can get rid of all of our cards. So pause the video and go ahead and determine which card should come next and then which card should follow that. Then unpause the video and see how you did. Okay, so hopefully you had time to look at that on your own. The first thing I notice is that if there's hearts face up, I probably want to play a heart next. So I'm going to choose to play the ace of hearts. I don't think it actually matters whether I play the ace or the 5. So I'm going to draw a little card here and I'm going to put an A for ace of hearts. Then I'm going to play the 5. And now I can't play the 10 because even though the 10 is also red, it's not a heart, it's a diamond. So the only card that I could actually play now is I could play the 8 of spades. And I could change the suit to be diamonds. Which means I could then play my last card, which is the 10 of diamonds. So this card column on the left is sort of like our statement column in a two-column proof. It's what we are doing to get from one step to the next. And the other column is going to be our reasons column, which is really just answering the question, what allows you to do this? So what allows you to play the ace? The property that allows us to play the ace is that they are the same suit. The property that allows us to play the 5 is that they are the same suit. The property that allows us to play the 8 and change it to diamonds is that 8s are wild. And then the property that allows us to play the 10 is that they are the same suit. So the idea here is I really just want to tie something that we've been playing with, decks of cards and Crazy Eights, to this new idea of really, we're still doing the same thing that we've been doing. We're just justifying why we're allowed to do that on the right-hand side. And that's the basic idea behind a proof. You're using the math and the justifications that allow you to do the math things you're doing to create a proof. So before we jump into some two-column proofs to work through, let's review some basic algebraic properties that we are going to use for these proofs. So all of the properties that we have listed here are properties that we regularly use when we're solving equations. So I'm going to just quickly go through them. The addition and subtraction properties say that we're allowed to add or subtract a number on both sides of the equation as long as we do in fact do that on both sides of the equation because we aren't unbalancing the equation. So that's the addition property of equality and the subtraction property of equality. The multiplication and division property behave in a similar way. If we start with a statement that's equal, then we can multiply or divide both sides by the same value. Obviously, we need to divide by a number that's not 0. But those properties allow us to multiply and divide a value on both sides of the equation. The distributive property of multiplication over division is what we use to expand, right? So I can multiply A by both pieces inside to go from having parentheses to not having parentheses, expanding that out. That's called the distributive property. And the substitution property says if I know that two things are equal, I can plug one in for the other. The other one that's not on here that I just want to add is that we can combine like terms. It's not really a property. It is something that we do. So if I had 2x plus 5x, I could add those together to get 7x. Or if I had 3 plus 5, I could add those together to get 8. That's not the addition property of equality because we're combining something on the same side of the equal sign as opposed to adding something on both sides. So combine like terms is another property that we use as well. So now that we've revisited this property, let's look at some proofs. Okay, here we have our statement column already filled in, and we're going to fill in the reason column. So we're going to look at the math that's happening on the left that allows us to solve this algebraic equation. The first reason is always going to be given. Like this was the problem that we were given to start with. So there's not a reason that this problem appeared other than that it was given to us to evaluate. Then we're going to ask ourselves the question, what's happening to get from the first row to the second row? The first thing I notice is that the parentheses are going away. So what's happening when we get rid of those parentheses? What property allows us to do that? That is the distributive property. And technically, it's called the distributive property of multiplication over addition, but you can just write distributive property. Then I'm asking myself to get from the second step to the third step, what's happening? This 40 is going away. And how is it going away? Well, it looks like the 30 becomes 70. So we're adding 40 on both sides. Adding on both sides means that we are using the addition property of equality. Here, I do want you to write of equality because we're going to get to properties of congruence and other things later. Lastly, to get from the negative 35w equals 70 to w equals negative 2. We're getting rid of this negative 35, and we're getting rid of that by dividing both sides by negative 35. So the property that allows us to go from the third to the fourth step is the division property of equality. So you just completed your first proof. We looked at the statements. We filled in the reasons. It's also possible that I could give you the reasons and ask you to do the algebra on the left-hand side. Or what we're moving towards eventually, and in our next example, is actually completing both the left and the right, both the statement and the reason column. So let's look at one more example. All right, here we have our first full proof where we're starting with a statement and we're going towards our final answer. What I want you to do is to fill in the statement column on the left. I'm going to help you with the very first step on doing this. I don't want you to show your work within the next box, but your work is going to result in the next box. So what I mean by that is if your first thought is I'm going to add 4x to both sides, I don't want you in the box down here to write plus 4x on both sides because this box should just have what happens after you do that. So if your first thought is, I want to add 4x to both sides, you can do that up here, but in the next box should be what you get when you do that. So 7x plus 2 equals 23. So I want you to complete the next two statement steps and then unpause the video and we'll work through the reason steps together. Okay, the next thing we would likely do is subtract 2 on both sides. So that would give us that 7x is equal to 21. And then we would divide by 7, so that would give us x is equal to 3. Some teachers prefer that you use set notation, so if that is your teacher's preference, make sure you have that in the box up there. Okay, for the reason column, our first reason is always given. We were given this problem, that's why we're starting there. When you're filling in your reasons on the right, you're asking yourself, what did I do? On the first step, on the red step, I added 4x to both sides, so that is the addition property of equality. To get from the second line to the third line, what did I do to both sides? I moved the 2, and how did I move the 2? I subtracted, so that's the subtraction property of equality. Again, because I am subtracting on both sides. And then to get from 7x to not having 7 in front, we divided on both sides, so that is the division property of equality. There is another video on 2-column proofs like this in the algebra lessons in Unit 1 if you want to go check that out to see some more worked out examples, because this lesson ties directly back into an Algebra 1 lesson when we are solving equations. But let's go ahead and wrap up this video. All right, in 2.3, our goals were that we could use algebraic properties to justify solving equations and that we could set up and create 2-column proofs. And I think we did both of those things. So go ahead and write down any questions you have, and I look forward to supporting you on this. Thanks for listening.